kind of a shy, introverted guy. He just lived down the street from me. I rode the school bus with him, but I know that he wasn't bombastic in his personality. He wasn't involved in anything. I don't think he was a member of a sports team or anything. But there were a set of guys in our class that are called bullies. I think everybody knows what a bully is. Well, Bob was the focus of their bullying. All the time, I knew him starting in junior high, 2 years in junior high, 4 years in high school. Bullied, bullied, bullied. And he took it quietly. And I wonder if I would be allowed to be in charge of him when he comes up, because I read in the paper just a few years after we graduated, he drove his car down to the Susquehanna River, doused his car in gas, and sat in it and lit a match. And the first thing I thought when I read that was, all of you bullies. You read that? Well, they said that they found him. I guess he ran out when he caught on fire, sitting in the water, whimpering, and he died a couple hours later. Terrible death. What I'm thinking when in the resurrection, if I'd be able to do this, invite a whole bunch of people to a feast, all of them bullies, and have them sit down at the feast. I mean, you might remember this from a story about what Joseph did with Benjamin. Bring out the food. Everybody gets food, but there's one chair there that nobody's sitting in. And it has double the portion of food. And Bob, come on out and sit down. I don't know. I got emotional thinking about things like that, because it's going to be something, such a fantastic time. But that's one of the things I've thought about, fancied in my mind. The other one, I'd like to read something, or I'll sing it. Or my voice. I think back to a video I saw of President Reagan when he was president, and they're in the White House, and Itzhak Perlman, the Israeli who was a tremendous violinist, he was playing. It was called a command performance. You know, not that you're forcing him to come, but it's an honor to be given that performance, or give a performance like that in the White House. Wonder if we would have something like it. Could we look back over some of the people that we knew who maybe could play music or whatever, could have a performance, invite them to come and entertain us? I would like to invite, now this is just fanciful in my mind, a group called the Seekers. Anybody remember the Seekers? I think they were Australian. And I would invite them, and I would ask them to sing a a really, really nice song. But before they sing it, I would want them to be told, now you sang this song in relationship to a girl having a boyfriend or a boy having a girlfriend. I want you to think of this in relationship to what's going to happen now that you're back. We're going to show you how to get into God's family. And the song that they would sing, the first verse, think about the application that they could be thinking about. There's a new world somewhere they call the promised land, and I'll be there someday if you will hold my hand. I still need you there beside me, no matter what I do, for I know I'll never find another you, Jesus Christ. That's just one example, things we could think about doing. I don't know if we'll get the chance to do that, but I have a lot of time. I have a lot of time to think about all of those things. Details. Well, back to my notes here. What will happen next begins there in Revelation 21 and verse 1. After we've brought all of the people who ever lived, given them the chance to join the family, then John said, I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth had passed away. There was no more sea, no more need for it. And this extends all the way down to Revelation 22:5. So I just want to read these verses. This will be toward the end of my sermon here, but we'll read from here down to 22:5. Just think in your mind what all this will be like. I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. God himself will be with them and be their God. God will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There shall be no more death, nor sorrow, nor crying. There shall be no more pain, for the former things have passed away. And then he who sat on the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said to me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said to me, It's done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give of the fountain of the water of life freely to him who thirsts. He who overcomes shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. But the cowardly, unbelieving, abominable, murderers, sexually immoral, sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars, they'll have their part in the lake which burns with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Well, then one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls filled with seven last plagues that we read about before this came to me and talked with me and said, Come, to show you the bride, the Lamb's wife. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain and showed me the great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God, having the glory of God. Her light was like a most precious stone, like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. Also, she had a great and high wall with 12 gates, and 12 angels at the gates, and names written on them, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. 3 gates in the east, 3 in the north, 3 in the south, and 3 in the west. Now the wall of the city had 12 foundations. And what were the foundations? On them were the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. You remember when Judas left and was no longer a disciple and apostle, another one had to be named because there were 12 positions for them that will be there when the holy city comes down. And he who talked with me had a gold reed to measure the city, its gates and its wall. The city is laid out as a square. Its length is as great as its breadth, and he measured the city with the reed. 12,000 furlongs. Its length, breadth, and height are equal. I looked this up one time, and what I came up with was if you laid this city down on the United States of America, the bottom one part of that square city would be in Florida, and the other one would be somewhere up in Canada. One side, the eastern side, would be the Atlantic coast. The other one would be probably somewhere in the desert in Arizona. Huge city. Well, yeah, it's going to be a huge city. We're going to live there forever. Then he measured its wall. The measurements, the construction of its wall was of jasper. Now, just think of the beauty and the just what if these would be in our human sphere, they would be valuable. Construction of its wall was jasper. The city was pure gold, like clear glass. The foundations of the wall of the city were adorned with all kinds of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third chalcedony, and the fourth emerald, and on it goes. 21, the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Pearl as big as a gate. Each individual gate was of one pearl, and the street of the city was pure gold, like transparent glass. That's just unbelievable. What beauty it will be. We'll be living in the midst of that. I hope as time goes by, we will never get used to it, and we'll still be in awe of it forever. I saw no temple in it. So that temple back in Ezekiel wasn't talking about this one, New Jerusalem coming down. I saw no temple in it for the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb are his temple. The city has no need of the sun or of the moon to shine in it, for the glory of God illuminated it, and the Lamb is its light. And the nations of those who are saved shall walk in its light, and the kings of the earth shall bring their glory and honor into it. They'll give their honor to God. Its gates shall not be shut at all by day. There shall be no night there. Nobody to rob you. Nobody, no reason to keep anybody out. And they shall bring the glory and the honor of the nations into it. But there shall by no means enter into it anything that defiles or causes abomination. Only those who are written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Our population, God's family, will be there. And then just a couple verses here. He showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding from the throne of God and the Lamb. Remember the one that's going to be here at the beginning of the millennium, the river is coming out of the temple, but this was coming out of the throne. In the middle of its street and on either side of the river was the tree of life, which bore 12 fruits, each tree yielding its fruit every month, the leaves of the tree for the healing of the nations. And there shall be no more curse, but the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. They shall see his face, and his name shall be on their foreheads. There shall be no night there. They need no lamp nor light of the sun, for the Lord God gives them light, and they shall reign forever and ever. Angels will be directed at our commands. God will order everything for his family that is wonderful and great. And how do you think about things that are going to happen in the future? The future has no end. That's just something. I know one of the things I'm going to, when I get to speak to Jesus, I'm going to say, explain to me eternity into the past. Please explain that to me. Because it can't be just, well, this happened before that. Well, this happened before that. Well, there must be some other concept of time that we will understand once we're spirit beings. But the future, that's easy to think about. Just keep going and going and going and going. And there's not enough room in this book or in all the libraries of the world to talk about what God has in store for us in the future. It's a fantastic thing to look for. Today, like I said, this day we're talking about the 1,000 years, beyond 1,000 years, when everybody we know of will be resurrected. But it's also, this day pictures the gateway to eternity.